Alright, welcome back everybody. Sorry it's been a minute since I've been on here. I went and saw some family last week, so didn't really get a chance to record or anything, and then work continues to be pretty busy, but I'm really excited to be back and really excited for my microphone. I still have so much work to mess with this. I just found out that there are now like filters and stuff I can put on here, so if anyone has suggestions on how to kind of get it to be a little bit more natural sounding, to me it still sounds a little bit buzzy when I listen back to it. Yeah, I'd love some suggestions just on how to kind of get this a little bit better, because to me, like, audio has always been my biggest issue with trying to do any kind of recording or streaming, and so if I could get that figured out, then I think I'd really want to start pushing towards doing some like casting and maybe some streaming. It's just since I'm not consistent right now with recording, I don't know if I can do streaming yet, but definitely would love some time to help with like even some of the KFPL casting and stuff like that. There's so many events going on right now, and like with that, huge shout out to just so much of the community. There's so many awesome things happening. So many content creators either kind of starting back up or starting new. Yeah, I was going to try and list a lot of them. Let's see, there's Zoc is doing his statistics analysis. The first one was awesome, looking at kind of like draws and mulligans and just kind of how fast you can expect to see certain cards, depending on how you draw and everything. I saw Sloppy Lab Work has started doing some stuff. I think they just posted a new recording, but they also did a live stream. Tabletop Royale is still going strong, the originals and the best for sure. Still doing live gameplay. I think that's one thing also that eventually I would love to see if I can do, is figure out some live gameplay, but I mean that'd be an endeavor. I'd have to find someone else who's willing to come put up with my recording stuff. So who else? Murph is going strong, doing a lot of his stuff for Fudginator. Huge shout out to Amber Meaties and Karen and that whole crew for putting on the first qualifier. It looked really fun. I really wanted to participate in that, but again, went and saw some family. But big congrats to Aurora for winning that. It looked like a really, really fun format and just a good day of Keyforge for sure. So I'm really hoping to do the next one, and maybe I'll do some recordings of that one. I think it's 70 or 75 SAS floor reversal. So hopefully pretty good decks, but reversal matches, which we're talking about at locals. Basically, you just get handed a deck that like does so much stuff, but it like either doesn't control creatures at all, or it doesn't control Amber at all, or it doesn't control or gain Amber at all. But everything else it does is really great. So it kind of makes for some weird games, but I think it still sounds fun. Gotta start looking through my collection to see what kind of high SAS stinkers I have. But yeah, there's so many things going on. Archon's Corner is doing a lot of work talking about the new releases from Ghost Galaxy and just the info we're getting back from them, and hopes for organized play. Wild Wormhole is going strong again. They did a podcast again now, or two. The NKFL has started up again. I know some people are recording those matches, and I love their format. The Nordic Hexad looks so awesome. I really should have got on the ball and joined that league, but yeah, I'm sure I'm missing people. Ketzer is doing more of their comics, and I think they also released a video. I need to go back and look. They did like a teaser video or something, but much more focused on kind of the lore and the art and stuff like that, which Keyforge just has such awesome and unique art. So that'll be really cool too. Dinobot is still doing strong with his late night streams. Sounds like he's kind of cracked some more decks now and is going to be exploring some new things there. So yeah, just really awesome stuff happening. This is going to be a short video. I'm going to try and record at least 2 today. So this one, we're just going to get into some of this stuff, talk through some of the news that's been happening. And then I've already kind of mentioned some of the events, but we'll go into a little bit more of the events that are going on right now in Keyforge. But we got a new update on the Gamefound for Winds of Exchange. This is basically a teaser of one of their support tiers. So if you're completely new to backers, things like this, basically what they're going to do is sounds like they're going to do 5, but they're going to have basically 5 different support tiers or levels that we as a community will, or we as individuals will basically pay a certain amount to back the game at that tier. And each tier will have basically different rewards and different things you get for that level of backing. So like in one sense, it kind of just feels like a pre-order at like 5 different prices, so you get different amounts for each price, but really the bigger way to think about it is more like you're investing whatever that money level is, and as a reward they're going to kind of give you back certain amounts of product and special bonuses and stuff like that. So like that's kind of just how these work, or how to think about them. So you don't always want to think about like strictly MSRP of the product when you're looking at these backer levels, but almost always the level you back at, you're going to get more product for what you pay than what its cost is. So it's definitely cost benefit, but it also is a really good way for the company to kind of get the money up front a little bit to make sure that they're able to actually release the product and do things really well. Again, the way Ghost Galaxy is doing this, I don't think this is necessarily that they need that upfront money as much as they're gaining the interest level, they're gauging the interest level, I guess I'll say. And don't quote me on any of that. That's kind of the way I have been interpreting things, especially with after how Gen Con went. They had awesome success there, it seems like, sold out of a bunch of products. So like they know people are going to buy this game when it comes out. It's really just one to kind of get us some feedback, or get some feedback from the community about interest level, and really just get to have another avenue for showing us what they're planning, and a way for us to just kind of be involved in that. So they released the middle tier of backer, which is $150 kind of backer price. And man, they're giving us some awesome stuff. Some stuff that I think the community has wanted for a really long time. So I think this should be really, really cool. So it's called the Reaper of Amber pledge, which they said is the middle of 5 kind of pledge tiers. And it comes with a lot of stuff. So first, you're basically getting a display of Winds of Exchange decks, which if you're backing this at all, that's the main thing you want, is you want decks of the new set. We could talk a little bit about the art that's going on here. The color is really interesting. At first, I thought it was almost like a black again, kind of like Mass Mutation, but it has this sort of brownish green undertone, which is really cool. And then lots of these like symbols and stuff, which I'm sure are related to the new Equidon faction, but really cool to see. Actually, some of these, I just noticed there, that's the same symbol that's on, is it Speed Sigil? I don't know, but there's a lot of symbology in Keyforge, and so I think it's kind of cool that they're just adding a little bit more of that production value to even the packaging and stuff. We have some card spoilers, which I know some people have already talked about. Some of these we've already seen parts of them, and so now we're getting to see the other parts, but 2 of these are new to us, so we can go through those really quick. Again, other people have talked about these. We have the generous offer, which I might have said in my last video was a common. It's very hard to tell on here. Someone else was saying they think it's uncommon. So at uncommon, it's still a very good card. It's going to be I think it's going to be good. In any set that's generating tokens, destroying your own creatures is almost always going to be encouraged and not too difficult. So I think this is just going to be a solid card. We have this, I don't remember what the second word is. Somebody kind of speculated what that was, but Grunt something, which is a Star Alliance action. And the way this reads, based on other Star Alliance cards we've seen especially, is you're going to look at the top 3 cards of your deck, put them back in any order, and then create a token. And so the way that tokens work is you're going to take the top card of your deck and place it on the battle line face down, representing whatever token your deck has. And so this looks like a really cool way to reduce the risk of token making. Right now, the way we understand tokens is that there's going to be almost a self-milling aspect to them, where there can be a lot of reward to making tokens, but you might end up just creating a token with one of the necessary combo pieces from your deck, and it will just turn off your deck until you can recycle. And so there is a little bit of risk with that. This is a very Star Alliance card in that it, one, gives you some knowledge of what you're going to be drawing next, and two, really reduces that risk of token generation. So I think especially this seems like something that would be pretty common. I would expect this to be a common action in Star Alliance. And it gives you an Amber. So I think probably just a pretty solid like type of card that we're going to see, type of common action we're going to see from this set. They're all probably going to have their own little spin on just action card that creates a token in a Star Alliance way, or in a Saurian way, or in kind of a Marsy way, whatever. I think we're going to see a lot of that. Ironic's Rebel. Now, we've already seen the other half of this card, and on my last video talking about this stuff, we actually speculated on exactly what the text here read, and now we get to know. And it's as good as I had hoped, where it is a deploy, so it's going anywhere in your battle line, and it readies each of your friendly Mars, or each of Ironic's Rebels' friendly Mars neighbors. I think this card is going to be fantastic. First of all, just with token creatures, if you're making Mars tokens, this is a way to ready and use them without having to hope that they survive until the next turn. A lot of the tokens we've seen are very small, very squishy. They're token creatures. They're supposed to be that way. This is a way you actually can get value out of them the turn that you generate them. But beyond that, I think Mars is going to have some pretty crazy reap effects. They historically have had a lot of really awesome reap effects, really disruptive things, or just strong, or even kind of like soft steel. And if there's any kind of return to hand, which Mars has, even a couple cards that could become legacies, I think this card could be just so awesome, and it just makes me more excited for Mars, which if you haven't seen my logo or anything else, you know I'm already really excited for Mars and the Rebel faction and all that, so I think this is just going to be awesome. The last one we have here is one of the few Saurian cards that we've had spoiled. I think we've had actually next to none. I don't know if we've seen hardly any Saurian cards, and so now we get to see one. It's a 4-power creature, soldier, and play, make a token creature immediately to Phalanx leader's right. So that one's kind of interesting because it almost gives the token a sort of deploy effect. So if you play Phalanx leader on the left of your battle line, it will insert the token between Phalanx leader and another creature, or you can do it on the other side of your battle line to kind of just start making a line of tokens. But this whole creature's purpose is, so fight reap, each creature to Phalanx leader's right gets +2 power for the remainder of the turn. I'm not sure how strong this is going to be. It's a very weird kind of conditional effect, and it's only for the current turn, which I don't love. Getting +2 power for one turn is hard to know if it's very good until we see the rest of the set. I understand with Saurians, they're probably going to have a little bit bigger tokens, so this could create some pretty cool fighting tokens. But if the tokens don't have fight effects, how much is that +2 power really doing for you? And it's not protective because it goes away at the end of the turn. But what I really like about this creature is that they're adding a new basically placement effect, where how you place your creatures in the battle line matters. I think those have always been really good and interesting, but very like simple design, but lots of sequencing and play decision space in battle line ordering that I'm really glad that they're going to keep going with, which makes sense with tokens because there should hopefully be a battle line more often. So I like that there's that kind of design focus to the battle line ordering and stuff like that to this card. Again, it's really hard to know how good this card is going to be until we see the other Saurian tokens and see what they're going to do with +2 power. The other thing with this is it's each creature, not just each Saurian creature. So there could be a lot of benefits if there's some house cheating in Saurian, which Saurian actually has a decent amount historically with things like Golden Spiral, the Dark Tidings creature. Magistra Vita, I think, is that one. They do have some of those cards that let you house cheat. Usually it costs exalting the creature. So again, hopefully the Saurians get some ways to mitigate exalting. I think that was one of their biggest issues in Dark Tidings, is they had nowhere to go with that Amber. So anyways, a little bit sidetracked there, but did want to go through these because it's really fun to be getting spoilers. We've been waiting a really long time for those, so just want to kind of talk through those and my thoughts really quick. I don't know if I said this one wholly, so if you haven't seen my other videos, this is Generous Offer. It is destroy a friendly creature. If you do, which is important, if you do, steal 2 Amber. So just a very solid like action card for Compacts of Equidon, which from the other spoilers we've seen, they're going to be a very good faction. Lots of them are rares, but I think they're just going to be solid. So let's get back into the backer rewards. What we have up next is going to be 2 Winds of Exchange Playmats. So really quick, we've already said we're getting 12 decks. So display, the historic MSRP value of a display on its own, I think was 100. If you part out those decks, it becomes 120. But we have seen already that the base value of decks is going to go up, which honestly we all should have expected. There's been so much inflation lately, and then printing issues and shipping issues, like it makes sense that they have to bump the price up a little bit. So they're going up to, I believe it's $12.99 US a deck. So at the moment, that 150 for backing this, like you're already getting most of that MSRP value just in this display, but there's so much more. Next, we have 2 Winds of Exchange Playmats. So you basically just get to choose 2 of the 7 playmats that they're making for this set. I'm a little torn about this. We definitely want to see them come out with things other than playmats for backer rewards and for organized play rewards and stuff in general. But we're also just, at least for me, I'm really excited about this set. I want to hype this set. I want to get everything I can for this set. And so starting off with some playmats when this set releases, I really don't have a problem with. 2 of them is like at least $30 worth of value if you're buying them at face value, but I think they probably are closer to 40 or 50, even if they're $25 a piece. So having 2 of those come in a backer kit is totally fine. The art on these is pretty fantastic. We've seen a couple of these before. This, I don't know if we've seen the card that this goes to, but we have definitely seen this art before. Even, I think it might be on one of Keyforging's other news articles. Looks like a Mars creature doing some stuff to some blorbs, electrocuting them, sending them forward as little like armored soldiers. I don't know, but it's great. This guy was actually spoiled a really long time ago. We're assuming this is a Star Alliance token creature. I don't know if that's been 100% confirmed yet, but just a really, really cool art, really kind of, I don't know, really almost a different direction for the art in this, just with even how the lighting has been done and stuff on the creature and everything. I think it's just really cool. It's definitely a little bit different than what we've seen in a lot of Keyforge art, but I'm totally fine with that, and very kind of just cool little Star Alliance token. So cool to see that. This is one of our Equidon creatures. Again, we haven't seen the art for this. We don't know if it's a token or just one of the creatures. He's playing some kind of flute to a bunch of snails. I'm interested to see more of the lore about these guys, but this art tells us something. He looks like he also has kind of a really big snail thing going on back there. It's cool. It's definitely unique colors and stuff, very bright, very vibrant. Not sure if I'll go for this one or not, because there's this Brobnar one, which I know a lot of people have been talking on Discord already about this one. It's just ridiculous, but it's also so awesome. Definitely a little bit darker than what we've seen in a lot of even Brobnar art. Brobnar art has always been kind of this, not quite cartoony, but very like bright and I don't know, just a little bit more lightheartedness still to a lot of it, and this one just looks a lot more kind of intense, and like there's a lot of darkness, and he's kind of got, it's hard to tell what his face looks like, but some cool stuff going on there. The fire coming out is really awesome. I'm really interested to see what this card is. I hope it's actually good. Sanctum, I'm gonna be honest, Sanctum is not my favorite. The art is starting to look a lot the same, but there is some interesting stuff going on in this one with the like scrolls burning. I don't know if Sanctum is also going to have some weird stuff going on, like Mars has kind of an internal rebellion. I wonder if Sanctum is also having something interesting going on like that. Hard to say, but some kind of a priest going on. This Unfathomable one actually fits a lot more with this. The background is a lot lighter, but the creature itself is kind of a lot darker. There's this kind of nasty looking chain thing going on. So I feel like these two in particular have a lot more of a kind of a darker, more serious theme than the rest of them, which is fine. I think Keyforge has space for so much of that stuff. So I think these two are the ones I'm most excited about. I'll probably get one of them and then one of the other ones because I do like the lighthearted nature. I should probably just get the Mars one because of my channel theme, but there's that one. Then we have a Saurian creature that has not been spoiled yet. Looks like some kind of diplomat, very standard Saurian, I would say. So I would say they probably don't see as many of this one go, but we'll see. I am actually a big fan of Saurian, so I would like to see more cool Saurian stuff. But so you get two of these just in the backer kit, which is again a lot of value and just a cool way to kind of start off the new set. So those have all been kind of the very standard. If you're still with me, thank you. I know I'm kind of rambling a little bit, but there's a lot to talk through here. There's a lot of cool stuff, and we haven't had a lot of new cool stuff until Ghost Galaxy picked this up, and now they're giving us a lot, so I just want to talk about it. But the thing that people are most excited about, I think, is this. We are getting personalized decks. This is something that people have wanted since this game basically came out. I think some way of getting your name, some way of maybe choosing the houses at least, or just some way to make it more personal to you without it being a constructed deck. Because again, I don't think that's something we're ever going to get in Keyforge. I don't think that's something we want in Keyforge. That's not what Keyforge is. Keyforge is the random algorithmically generated deck, but you still want to have that personalization, and now you can submit a name, and if you're in this backer tier, you're going to get a deck with that name on it. They released another kind of article somewhere, I don't know who found that, but it kind of outlined the like an FAQ of how this works. There is still going to be other text randomly applied to whatever name you submit. I think you get about oh yeah, it's down here. They have an FAQ for it. You get 20 characters for whatever name you want, as long as it's not something that's going to get banned like the racist ones from the first set. But they weren't racist. They just had the word racist on them. But if you have a tag that you want on there, if you want your last name, if you want your dog's name, there's so much you can do with this. And like, I think people are going to back at this level just for this deck, and I'm really excited to see what happens in the higher tiers, to see if you can get a whole display with just your name on it or something. I'm so excited that they're doing this, and I think this is the kind of stuff that the Keyforge community has wanted for such a long time, and to see that they're doing that in their like launch is just great news. And I think we're only going to see better and more creative ways of doing this going forward, including like tournament prizes and stuff. I'd love to have like name specific tournament prizes and things like that. So I think this is going to be great. The deck might be terrible. I will still play it. I will still play it so much, especially because whatever name you get on here, you're also going to get a playmat with that name. I'm not exactly sure how they're going to do this in a cost-effective way, but I don't care. Like, it's awesome. I'm sure there are going to be local tournaments all over the place where it's just you bring your named playmat and deck, which again might not be super inclusive to people who didn't back at this level, but I think this is just going to be such a cool thing for the community to have that extra level of personalization and stuff. Yeah, and you can see right here, like the MSRP of all of this is over $240, and it's 150 backer pledge, which if you're excited for Keyforge to come back, you're probably pledging something anyways, even if all you got was the free deck you got just for following this. I think we're all so excited to see this coming back. We just want to do whatever we can to make sure it succeeds, and I think they are rewarding that faith already in so many cool ways. So huge thank you to Ghost Galaxy just for all the work they're doing and just for pushing this forward. So excited to see what the other backer pledges look like and different things like that. But stay posted on their website, keyforging.com, if you haven't gone there yet, to keep up to date on the news for these things. And yeah, that's kind of the Keyforging news for now. Like I said, I did want to talk a little bit too about current events that are going on with Keyforge. I mentioned some of these already, but there are the Keyforge Premier League qualifiers, which are every third Saturday of the month, I think is what they said, and it's going to be a different format every time. So the last one that they did, as I said, was won by Aurora. That was a 75 SAS cap triad single game. The next one is reversal, and then I think they're going to do an adaptive. I need to go back and look at the order, but be on the lookout for those. I think that should be a really cool way just to kind of test your competitive muscles a little bit. ABR, we're still waiting on the next round of those, but I think they said recently that there's going to be some news coming out about that at least. NKFL just started up, both with their league and they do another like smaller thing with people from the league that somebody was telling me about. Those just started, so it's a little late to get in on that, but there's a lot of content coming out for it, so go check that out and support what they're doing. What else do we got? The fire sale tournament is going on. I'm really interested to see what comes out of that. There was a lot of crazy powerful decks in there. So that one's been going on. The Swindle SASBound is still happening. We're in our third round of that, and that's almost over, and we already have people that are basically one win away from achieving the goal of winning with a sub 60 SAS deck, which is crazy. But there's been some crazy games there already. It's been really, really fun. If they do that again, I would definitely recommend that. It's been a blast. Just kind of really testing your collection a little bit, which is always good, getting you to kind of use some different things. Oh man, the Time Shapers League started up again. I haven't done that one before, but they're always usually doing some really cool formats like Tesla and they're not doing Tesla. It's the one where you basically, it's adaptive, except you just don't play the Chainbound at the last game. You just play the Archon and Reversal matches. I can't remember the name of that one. I think the Swindle Tournaments has a new one coming soon. I don't know. I'm sure there's more, but there's just a lot going on, and I want to just kind of share that and just say how excited I am that so much is happening. I'm glad to be even a very small part of it. But yeah, now is definitely a really good time for Keyforge, and I'm super excited for what Ghost Galaxy is doing, what so many of the fans and content creators are doing. Oh man, the last special shout out is to Call of Discovery, who I've already said Zach is doing some amazing stuff already. They're still doing their ladder, but Call of Discovery podcast, Zach and Ed, they did a musical, and it's some of the best stuff I've ever heard. Like, it was so well done, so funny, so creative, and just like, I don't know. So I don't even know how you come up with some of the stuff that they did, but it's so good. So like, more than anything else, if you haven't listened to that podcast yet, go listen to it. It's their 100th episode, which is really exciting. But I was just smiling the entire podcast, probably laughing some of it too, because there's just some hilarious stuff. But yeah, that's it for kind of news and stuff, and excited to get back into some gameplay now too. Talk to you guys later. Bye.